said, well, I just want a room. I said, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to pay for it, huh? I don't have my card. So we got a room overlooking Pismo Beach for 250 a night. And that's back then. I mean, now it would be like 400 a night for that room. And it was a two-bedroom suite with beautiful kitchen and the whole thing. Room views everywhere. I was living, a really good life there. And about a month later, she broke up with me. We lived together for 6 months. And I met her at an animation convention because I was into animation at the time. And she didn't even remember my name. She was that high on coke or something. It was like, what? We lived together for 6 months and you don't even remember my name? Okay. Yeah, well, the thing is, Sarah and I didn't need to be together during the COVID period. She could have pretty much dumped me back then, but I think the low cost rent really kept her in. I'm just being realistic because she doesn't appear to have any love that she said she had for me. So, I mean, I have these cards that say love Sarah on them, and I even told her, I said, if you don't really love me as a person, I mean, I'm not, you can love me as a bag person because you love all bag people, or are supposed to love all bag people. I love you, bag people. Yeah, and she took the backs, and that was a big red flag. She didn't listen to a thing I said. Did you ever pay that much for a room with Sarah? No, I never did. The most we paid for a room was, I think, 275. No, actually, we had a room like that she managed to get us a room like that for free when we went to the Americans Elect conference that she put together. So I really give Sarah a lot of credit. She's put more work into America's Third Party than anybody to this day, and I thank her for all that effort. Nope, I don't think she's involved with anyone. She's just, I think she has to get her metabolism under control and then she'll feel a lot better. And once she feels better, she'll see things reasonably. And I've done nothing wrong. I do believe that Sarah used me. Yes. She was living in a trailer. I had to fix up that trailer. And now that trailer is mine. It's a luxury trailer that's about 26 feet long with a slide out, a super slide. And it opens up to an apartment. And it's really nice. And I had hoped that, I could go to Tucson with Sarah and live in that trailer and we could hang out at some of these retirement communities that serve tacos. I know, I think Sarah genuinely wanted to have a third party thing. And I told her initially she wouldn't get more than 5% of the vote. And I don't think she believed me because I don't think she believed a lot of things I've told her, even though they're honest and true. For some reason, she's always been kind of quizzical about everything I say, including stories about the vaccine. That's why we kind of drifted apart politically. But when she first started, oh, don't ever post that here. No, that's a bannable offense as well. Yeah, if you do that again, I'll ban you. I don't allow AI video to be posted here, especially of me. If it's somebody else like Trump, that'd be fine. But the trailer is beautiful, and I fixed it up for her and made it even better. I paid for electric for her, so I mean, there was an electric short issue that I had to fix. But and I got her propane system up and running. That was awesome. We got a new propane connection. It was a really nice place for her to stay, and this new RV she has will be nice too. And I made sure that we checked the furnace was not working in the new RV, so she has to use Mr. Buddy, but it's totally safe with the window open. And she's got a carbon monoxide detector in the RV. And I really made that RV ready to go. I waxed every little bit of it. So it's an older RV, but it slips through the air with the greatest of ease. And now she just needs to rinse it off at one of those car wash places. Get up on a ladder and give it a squirt. She'll be fine. I'm really confident she's in a good place, even though I think her driving is going to be affected because right now, unless she's treated, she's got her driving is questionable in my opinion. She nearly collided with a truck and a car when we went to the dentist. So that's one of the reasons I think that whole day was so weird. She was whacked out when she drove to the dentist, and I said, "Stop in traffic," and I would have been dead. The truck would have gone right into my windshield. She was going to dart into traffic at 30 miles an hour while the other cars were coming in at 30 miles an hour. It's like, whoa, 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 slow down, stop. She took the hybrid car, yes. We both have our own cars, and it's kind of cute. Um, she's dumping me completely. She's hard slamming me right now, and I think it's mostly due to her metabolism. And I don't blame her for her metabolism. I've always given her a lot of credit for leeway with her hyperthyroidism, which was diagnosed because I helped her diagnose it. We got her to an endocrinologist, and she was on meds for a while. She didn't like the way the meds made her feel. And over the years, she just avoided the doctor. And 3 years now, she hasn't been to an endocrinologist. And consequently, she bolted, man. She's gone out of my life. It's possible she could be a little bit out of control. And she doesn't, she's not aware of it because she likes feeling that way. I bet they are. The She likes feeling that way. So, at the end of the year, she had a great year last year. Her kids were wonderful. The year before, she had a horrible year and she was going to quit. And I said, no, you got to stick with it because I grew up with two professors, or my mother and father were both teachers. My father taught high school for 45 years, and my mother was a professor of nursing at the college level. So I know the ups and downs of being a teacher. And I was there listening to her every day about talking about her students. So I'm like the perfect guy, right? You couldn't get a better person to listen to somebody talk about their students because I said, I'm not disinterested. I am talking. That's all she liked to talk about. Yeah, definitely not. I don't think Sarah would ever do drugs. She said no to marijuana ever since I've known her. Yeah, she would never do drugs. I don't believe that. It's just her meds were not properly managed and she got into this state of being really happy. She found Jesus and she wondered why I held her back when she was younger and she could have been happier longer. So she resented me for not having this happiness that she has now. Remember, she went to Disney World and had the greatest time of her life. And then 2 years later, she just went on a trip to Alaska and had the greatest time of her life again, but more great, even more than the trip to Disney World. So it's just getting better and better for her. I think she's living with the closeted lesbian that I will never see again. I am the perfect guy. I really believe God sent me to protect Sarah. I really believe that. I had an epic experience when I was 18 when she was born in 1978. It came to me, I mean, the words came to me, and I started literally crying in the car when I was taking my transcripts from El Camino when I was 15 years old in college to UCLA, and that trip was just epic. Yeah, I just had this wave of knowledge that the person I'd be with in my life was being born. It's like, where does that come from? And it was her birthday. Looking back on that day, I traced it to her birthday, February, in February. So, I mean, wow. The thing is, she wanted to get away from me, and the woman that she's living with right now is the woman she's been bitching and complaining about me too. And I knew that in the backside. So she had a secret hobby. She liked to complain about me behind my back. That's what was going on. And she was planning on leaving. Yes, on that Alaska trip, they worked it out. The whole plan was diabolical. I was crying it when I was 18 with such joy. I can't even tell you. Have you ever cried from joy? It's wild, man. It's just like you get so emotional because it's joyous in your mind. I could easily do that. I'm a method actor, I guess. Anyway, my sister was over today and spent some time with me. Connie and I got along great. She's a big help to me, talking to me on the phone, and really great to have her as a sister, to be honest. So, and she's got a lot of wisdom, Connie does. She's had a lot of life experience that most of us have never had. So that's interesting. But she had an epic time with us today. We walked in the Enchanted Forest together, she and I. Okay, let's get this thing on the. I took the time off to look at my calculator. I was gonna. I'd like to make the show more about me talking, frankly. I don't like playing links necessarily. That's why the 10-hour show is just so disturbing because I'd be playing all kinds of links and I wouldn't talk as much. I prefer talking. But let's see, she saved $2,500 times 12 months times 20 years. Make that 600,000. I underestimated the amount of money she saved. So she saved about $600,000. Of that, she spent quite a bit of it for living in general, buying things for herself, but she definitely cleared 300,000 that she saved. So she's cash. She has a lot of investments. She's invested in the stock market. So she's feeling her oats. And she figured she'd just dump me because she got what she wanted, a lot of money. And she even told me right after she found Jesus that she'd become really greedy. And I said to her, that doesn't jive with Jesus. No. Timothy 6:15 is the love of money is the root of all evil. Oh, it's actually 6:10. Timothy 6:10. Okay, let's move on. This is from yesterday. The guy's going to talk about Candace Owens. I never really got a chance to listen to him. We're picking up where we left off yesterday. Nicholas Brooks, Esquire. But that's an eye opener. I didn't realize she saved 600,000 over 20 years. If she was paying 25, if she was paying $3,000 a month. So say on average, because the price of apartment wasn't 3,000 a month back then, in the 20 years ago, it was more like 1,700. Now it's 3,000. So I'm going to change the numbers to 2,000 times 20. So she saved roughly 480,000. So I think I could fairly say she saved $400,000 and still be within a comfortable range. That's pretty good, don't you think? Of course, she hasn't been working as a full-time teacher in that time period. So factoring in the fact that during that time period she worked as a substitute teacher, making a very small wage, I'm going to go back to 300,000. Yeah, because she wasn't making that much money in the early days. I told my friend who makes 250,000 a year, I said, no, that's what's so weird. She's not, no, she's hard slamming me. She won't even talk to me or take text messages. That's what's so weird about this. I basically paid 300 grand for trim, yeah, but I didn't get trim. I don't know. Sarah's very miserly, Rodney. She holds back on spending, so she's going to be very good. She's really got a good mind for money. I'll tell you. If you had her as a financial advisor, you'd be making shitloads more in the market, Rodney. Yeah. She's incredible. I only good things to say about Sarah on a cerebral level, on an intellectual level. She's not emotionally the same as many people, though. She's different. I don't think there's. I don't think she's a lesbian. No, I think Sarah's love of Jesus is very real, and I don't think she'd lay down with a woman at all. No, but the woman's been kind of working her for a long time. I don't trust the woman. I think she's a lesbian. The woman hasn't had a husband or a boyfriend since her divorce 30 years ago. Not that good looking, no. Big ass. Yeah, not really that intriguing. But I can tell you that I will say this. I said I'll never see that person again because she's literally diabolically pulled you out of my life for personal reasons. Jealousy is one of them. I'll never see that person again. No. And I, and she honored it by taking an Uber to see me. And the only way I know that is because she sent me the text message she was going to send an Uber guy. She said I'd be there at that certain hour, telegraphing what time I'd be there at the DMV. And then she said, and I can send you a check if you want more money. And I knew she'd missed texted. She thought she was texting the guy that helped her drive out here. Because she took that RV within seconds. I didn't even have a chance to see it leave. And I only turned away for about a minute. I went in the house after going to the RV. I looked at the counter and I saw this hand sanitizer. I thought, well, that would be nice on her road trip. And it's a natural hand sanitizer. It's not one of these ones with Purell in it, which is graphene. It's basically, yeah, hydrogel. You don't want to put that on your body. That pure. It's not pure at all. But anyway, I had this natural thing I was going to take out there, and I turned around. It was like 1 minute I was gone from looking at the RV. I went back, and the RV was gone. So she literally grabbed it, turned the engine over, and got out of there within 30 seconds. Like she must have been moving quick. She must have been hiding in the background until I was gone, and then got out. And it was 20 minutes before she said she'd be here. So then I get a call, or then she texted me saying, I'm at the DMV, which is like really fast. I need you to get the titles. And I said, well, you should have called. I said, this is why I wanted to call 5 days ago. You never called me. You never told me what I needed to do. So I then had to madly rush into the place where I kept the titles and open up a safe. And luckily I found them all. And I got back. I met her at the DMV. She would not leave the DMV office. She wanted to be in the office. At one point, I wanted to talk to her about certain items in her RV that I put there, meticulously packing, organizing, because I'm a good organizer, just like she is. And she didn't want to talk to me outside that DMV office, which means she's really paranoid when I've never said a bad word to her. So that's concerning me. This paranoia that she has is indicative of her having a thyroid storm. So I really hope the blood test works out for her, and I hope her holistic doctor gets her a referral to an endocrinologist because she really needs something that will control it. And they have a way of getting people less depressed by giving them extra T3 and extra T4. And I sent her the links to those too. We were never partners or married. Yeah. No, Sarah bought a lot of things around the house. She contributed equally. She paid half for the roof of my house. Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, I have a beautiful roof and incredibly well done, and she knew the roofer, and we both paid for a half season on the roof, so that worked out okay. I think she really is very greedy, and I think she was kind of milking me for a low cost rent. That's what I was saying. But I still love her. I can't help but love her. I have this, like I said, I think God sent me here to protect her. I don't think she's moving in that direction. I don't know many Jesus uh, born again Christians that are wanting to turn into a lesbian. So I don't think she's going to become a lesbian per se, but that's up to her. She's free. I believe in free will, and she said she believed in free will, and then said she didn't think I believed in God because I didn't think Jesus is God. It's like, oh, this is semantics. We're really talking about semantics. I believe Jesus is the Son of God, as I was taught as a Catholic. No, I don't. I'm not tracking her. No, I would never do that. Plus, she's on her own. No, I can cut the mustard. I just don't like Coleman's. It sucks. It's too much sugar in Coleman's. They overcook it too. I know exactly what they're doing wrong with Coleman's. I have an incredible taste bud. My taste buds are impeccable. They're overcooking the sugar when they put it in. Yeah, it's just terrible. Coleman's is the worst. No, I can't stand it. Dude, I've had the best sweet mustards on earth, made by people that took recipes from their home country in Austria. Far better than that. My God. I remember getting a mustard from this guy I knew who brought it from the old country. It puts Coleman's in the background as the worst mustard ever. It blew me away. I could never repeat that experience. The guy died on me, and I didn't get his recipe, nor would I really worry about it. No, the thing is, Sarah took all her clothes, perfectly packed, and I put them in her suitcase. I don't need to find a co-host at this time in my life. I really don't. Guys, this show, you're lucky to have this show. That's how you should see it. I know you want to make it better with a live co-host talk in, even though nobody called in for 7 years. I know that's what you want to do, but it's not. It's of no value to me. We could have that live experience, but I can't prioritize it right now. I've got too much on my mind. No, I could open up Tiny Chat. We could have live co-hosting through Tiny Chat on a different computer. I'm not only doing great, do good for a breakup. I'm emotionally ripped apart. I have an incredibly good way of covering for that. I've compartmentalized the loss that I've experienced, but at night I have a hard time sleeping now. Rendell could do the show with me. Yeah, I could probably co-host with him. Yeah, you called in 3 times. That's not enough. You didn't engage me politically. Well, the fact that you're still watching the show is enough for me, but the idea of opening up a co-host show is really the next step for our show, because I had CIA involvement in Discord that I had to push away from. Discord took over my show. They still own the access points. I gave the guy access to the show, unaware that, yeah, so the CIA has access to the ATP show at Discord. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't take any credit for it. But it was such a bad experience, and we know the CIA works through Discord. Please don't post any type of nudity here on the show. It degrades the political message here. No, I don't think Sarah ever watches the show. She never really engaged and watched the show ever. Ren said he was tired of the show. Well, if he's tired of the show, then he can certainly leave as mod. Yeah, if he doesn't want to do the show, then yeah, he could just leave as mod. I don't care. You can come and go as a mod. I don't have a lot of mods. I believe you. Yeah, if he's tired of the show, then he can leave. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to kick him out as a mod. Well, I've given Rendell a huge amount of latitude to be the mod that he is. Yeah, and for him to in any way say that, it's up to him if he wants to leave his mod.
Introducing Clip B. Whenever
This is an incredibly difficult show to do as a mod. Mm. You don't have to worry me about Rendell. If he wants to leave as a mod, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, I mean, if that's his choice. Like I said, you can come and go as a mod. Meta Nemesis is a pretty stable and low key guy, and that's why he stayed a long time. True Blue hardly ever comes back again. I could pick new mods now. And if Rendell doesn't come back for a couple days on end, I might pick another mod. Yeah, because I need mods to in the background when I'm not here. But hey, I understand this is an incredibly difficult show to manage, and he gets a lot of heat from people and conflict. But that's partly his fault because he's an edgy guy. But I don't have a problem with him being an edgy guy. Yeah, and Meta is selling toys on eBay, which is very time consuming. I should be selling my magazines on eBay. Mr. Dork left the show because he was too exposed. He wanted to get away from the internet and meet people in real life. So that's really a code word for hanging out at a bar. So you could probably expect Mr. Dork at a bar right now. No, I'm not going to ever demod Rendell. If he wants to come back and mod at any time, if he's not bored, that's fine. Yeah, I should sell on eBay, on Amazon too. You're right. I should open up an Etsy and an eBay and an Amazon store. Yeah, he'll be spending his time as a drunk in the bar because if you leave the online experience, they always go to the bar. But yeah, now that I'm looking at the numbers, I think she may have saved close to 400,000. But I'm going to say on average 300,000 she saved living in my house, and that's a conservative estimate. Say she was getting a studio apartment for like 1,000 a month, and was living in that in a small box somewhere. This way, she don't ever put porn in our show. I told you that. Yeah, if we ever see the downside of living in a nice apartment, if she were to live in a studio, she could have gotten it for 1,000 a month. So that's why 300,000 is really a fair amount. Yeah, I mean, and then moved up to 2,000 a month for a one bedroom, which was the rate about 10 years ago, and now it's 3,000 a month for a one bedroom. It's ridiculous. Even she was upset that the houses were so high priced in the area. And I said, well, you are my sole beneficiary. So it's not like you need to buy a house. If something were to happen to me, you'd have a house, I said. And that didn't seem to faze her. She's still, I think, she's the kind that would probably buy a house this year with her income, get talked into it, and take on a $350,000 mortgage. Sarah would probably do that. Yeah, I said, don't ever do that. Well, I can't take her off the will until I find somebody new. I told her that. I said, Sarah, I love you. I wish you the best. And I'm not going to take you off the will until I find somebody new. I told her that. So, yeah, once I find somebody new, then I'll take her off the will. But I think it's fair that, and I'm treating her incredibly well, even though she's hard slamming me right now. I mean, really hard slamming me. Like I said, if I kick her off, who do I put on there? You know, it would be a feeding frenzy around here. You'd have so many assets, it would be unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, if I open my doors, it would be incredible. Yeah, everybody would get something. I have a huge collection, so you can imagine everybody getting a piece of the collection. That would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do an online pre-funeral event, even though I'll be living to be over 200 years old. So Yeah, Connie had a problem with me, and she did sue me, and I countersued, and we settled out of court. Yeah, and the swim spa is hard to move. That's the problem. The guy who brought it in was really high on meth when he did. Oh man, it was like I've never seen a guy 5'6" carry a swim spa off of a flatbed and put it in my front yard, and he was incredibly amazing. I mean, I knew the guy was high on meth, but man, could he work? He was amazing. I kept him honest about the whole thing. He gave me a price for the deck too, because people on meth love to make decks. It's like their use of their brain focuses on the deck. I knew a couple deck guys that were meth heads. Anyway, this guy did a great job moving that spa into place. I've never seen anybody do it. He literally put it in place off of a flatbed parked in the front yard. It's like, wow. And this, like, I'd say 2,000 pounds fiberglass. I've never seen anybody do it. He was like phenomenal. Meth decker. And he helped build a deck, and I kept him honest on the payments, and I said, hey, that's it. Financially, that's all I have. He ended up giving me one item, a marine pump that I use for the main jets, and I bought a primary pump separately, new, or it might have been refurbished. But yeah, it's a good, I mothballed it when the price of electricity skyrocketed thanks to ChatGPT. I'm paying 40% higher on my electric bill, so I cut the spa out, and my skin's feeling better now as a result of it. I don't have any skin problems whatsoever. I was battling eczema with that bromium water that was contaminated. Remember when Trump Tartican would make fun of the bromium water? He was right. Well, the swim spa is ready to fire up whenever I want to heat it. But with Sarah gone, I'm going to cut the electric bill and not have to. I got rid of one refrigerator down to, I'm down to one refrigerator freezer. I had two because Sarah used to like to put all her soy milk and things, or actually coconut milk. She makes these really nice hot cocoa drinks out of coconut milk. I'm sure I did mute Deacon for selling me that. But if I want to take a swim, my local community has a chlorinated pool that uh, they charge the community $800 a day to run. So for right now, if I want to take a swim, I have a really nice chlorinated pool to swim in, and they only charge us $800 a day to run the pool. Seriously. I said, I told them, I said, you could run an Olympic sized swimming pool with a staff of 5 lifeguards and pay less than that. I said, who are you kidding? You're charging a shitload, 64,000 for 10 weeks of a pool. I said, what's going on? I told the lady, this is a huge red flag. I should go to the accountant and start ripping into him and file a lawsuit. But why bother? They know they're overcharging for the pool. Now this year especially, they know. I made sure they knew.
In tight slacks.
The Trump Tartican sent me the secret username because this is his idea of men having a pickup night. He's completely off base with reality. This tracks anything with a keychain wallet. Yeah, so you can put these trackers anywhere and then track your loved one. No, when I said love, if you love someone, set them free, I meant it. Sarah's free to do whatever she wants. Yeah, I don't have any concern. Well, actually, I have a lot of concerns. I don't think she's safe to drive without meds, but that's just me. I'm not an expert, except a guy who was nearly killed the other day while she was driving. No big deal. Yeah, she should get treatment before she drives anywhere. Seriously, man. Rash decisions, erratic decisions on the highway. I was freaked out. I could have been dead. That truck would have gone right through my windshield had she gone into that intersection. Thankfully, she listened to me and she said stop, and she thanked me afterwards for saying stop. So she knows that she's She's got to slow down. So if you're listening, Sarah, slow down. That's all I ask. I'm not trying to say you're a bad driver. You're a good driver. You just have to, slow down. Take it easy. You should never be in a hurry when you're driving. That's number one rule. Number two rule, don't look in the back mirror, in the rearview mirror. It only makes you paranoid and makes you lose your field of vision. I know a lot of people spend their time looking in the rearview mirror. That's a waste of time. And always stay alert and awake. If you're ever tired on the highway, pull off, get some sleep in a rest area. That's why they call them a rest area.